best basketball in February and tournament-wise going into March if we can, make the tournament.
So it sounds like you're trying to, I guess, minimize, putting too much importance on this, on the guys, because you don't want this thing snowballing, I guess. I mean, if you do go 0-3, though, each game thereafter would be important. But I mean, the pressure would start to mount.
It's just we just don't put that on our board, our goal board. It's not. There's nothing on there that says it. Just basically the goals are, win 7 games at home, win 4 of 8, 7 total games at home. Trying to create our home court. Our primary goal, since they've got here, is to try to make Mott Gym a real good home court advantage, and then try to start winning conference games, trying to split conference games on the road. And I don't think we haven't deviated from that at all. And we're still trying to look at that as, hey, we want to win games, but we've got to keep on improving the overall mentality, discipline, defense, rebounding, and then obviously now I think we've shown that we are a very good defensive team. We've shown that we can rebound with teams in conference. We've got to show that we can score on a consistent basis, and we've shown we take care of the basketball. So the thing we got to really focus on is improving our field goal shooting percentage. I'd probably be, as excited to have a 52% field goal shooting percentage tonight. I think that will translate to a W. And how did we shoot 52%? So I think that's going to be a big part of it. And so we've never talked about that as a team. We don't have the record. We say, well, look at the conference standings at the end of the conference, because you get altitude. If you do too well, you start off 3. Does that mean more than not doing well to start? Ultimately speaking, you've got to look at where you're at, health and program wise, come end of February. So it's the first weekend on the road in conference play. We don't say this is a must-win road trip. Well, it's a must improvement weekend. We got to get better and see if our field goal shooting percentage, find a way to improve our field goal shooting percentage right now. So there'll be time enough to look at the standings when you're in mid-February and you go, okay, here we're 3 games out, or we're 2 games out, or we're 5 games, or where everybody's setting up. But it's just so early to even consider. You can be. We've seen teams go, 1-4, 2-5, and end up in the 7th or 7-8, 8-8, or 8-8 record, and then win 2 games and go to the tournament. I think Northridge did it a couple years back, and get hot at the right time, so to speak. And that's what we're concerned with. Such a young team. It's like we got to keep on developing those point guards and keep on developing that offense, because defense and rebounding keeps you in it. Offense, as we know, can help you win it. So keeping in it right now, but we need to start looking at trying to win it.
And you mentioned Chris. I know he went hobbling off the court. What kind of injury did he?
He rolled his ankle, and the status is undetermined. As each day he'll get therapy and see how much swelling he gets out of it. So he was pretty encouraged. X-rays came up negative, and that was the most important part of it. So it could be anywhere from a 5-day recovery to a 15-day recovery, whether he's quarter speed, half speed, or whether he plays this weekend. We'll find out for the next 3 days of practice. But
how about Drake? How is his progress?
Drake's out 4 to 6 weeks, and we're about the third. We're probably 3 more weeks, 2 to 3 weeks where he gets the cast off, and I opted not for the surgery, so it's probably closer to a 5 or 6 week situation to let it fully heal that way without putting a pin in his hand.
A plus from the Long Beach game was Jamal. Kind of talk about the confidence he got, and as far as you and the rest of the team have on him, especially if Chris can't play this week.
Yeah, we were really pleased with Jamal, and the number one thing we liked about him was the rhythm in which he shot the basketball. He shot a couple of really good-looking threes, and then the aggressiveness and timing, the timing that he attacked off the dribble. We kind of felt like it's been about half a season for him to kind of develop that feel for when to go, when do I step up my offense, when do I distribute, when do I drive. As fortunate as we complimented him the next morning, New Year's morning, we had a long film session and a long practice and another film session, and it was great to see him, kind of shed the freshman feeling and looked like a college basketball player there that wasn't overanalyzing, because it's very difficult for a freshman point guard to come in and run a team and try to score. And we've seen flashes out of that from Malik Love, where he had a game of 10, 12, 14 points, and now would have have flashes out of that of Jamal. Now we have two freshmen that are able to, perhaps on any given night, maybe one of them can give us a spark. So if Malik's not scoring off the drive or hitting a shot, now Jamal has in his brain, and we talk about the little man in the back of your head has to start believing what you're saying. And you can be a great high school player and a leader and success, but until you do it at a high Division I level and score 12, I think he had 12 off the bench. It was a second leading scorer. Until you do that, you haven't proven it. And now once you do it, the second time is certainly easier. So that's a definite plus for us. As you said, we're already missing Drake, we're already missing Kyle, we're already missing Amari, and so here's somebody who's potentially going to be a redshirt this year, coming in off the bench and playing big minutes and scoring 12 points for us is really big for us in the program from a long-term perspective.
Definitely. I guess going into this week, if you were to divide your focus this week as far as concentrating on perfecting or improving your shooting and focusing what you need to do as far as shutting down Pacific and Davis, I mean, how does it compare to other weeks? I mean,
I just think offensively is the priority. I mean, I think that our defense has gotten to that point that I think we defend. I think our guys' DNA is that we need to defend guys. That I don't have to spend a lot of time motivating or coming up with specific game plans defensively. I think our guys know that we got to have a good transition defense every single night. We've got to go dig the ball out of the post, and then we've got to go ahead and contest shooters. Now, we didn't do a great job against Long Beach State with that. I thought we were slow to help on the post players. In transition, we gave up a few, and hence they really handed that to us. So then getting back to that basic that we've got to really control the tempo defensively. And then if we can kind of get back to that mode where we did against Pepperdine, where we controlled it defensively and knocked down some shots. The prior games to that, I think, were high major teams that you have to play great to beat them. Pepperdine, we just played a good game, and we beat them. And now we're going to have to play two good games to go up there and have a chance against Pacific and Davis.